If you have this internal dream of what you really want to become, but the external world has such a different expectation of you, how do you find your way forward? Living based on what someone else expects you to do or become or be in the world is a way to live a very sad life. Where does my desire for my life begin? And how do I find the bravery to step into that? Hello, beautiful, and welcome. I am Dr. Amanda Hanson, also known as the Midlife Muse. Please make sure to subscribe, follow, and share this YouTube channel. I really think it's so important for us to consider the expectations that we are carrying, that others have of us, who we should be in the world, and the way that that may be playing as background noise to every decision we make in our lives. We come into the world and everybody has an expectation of what you're going to become, whether it's your family members, your mom, your dad, your aunts, your uncles, possibly even your siblings, your grandparents. Then teachers say things and make impressions upon you about who they believe you are going to be capable of becoming in the world. Maybe a first boss, a first love, and on the list goes. And we take on all this information to inform what we believe our identity maybe should be, because this is what they're expecting of us. This is what they worked so hard for. This is what they dreamed of for us. This is the potential they see in us. And so sometimes that can feel like quite a heavy burden. If you have this internal dream of what you really want to become, but the external world has such a different expectation of you, how do you find your way forward? And I have this deeply held belief, especially for parents, that we get to reflect back the beauty and amazing qualities we see within our children, but then to release and give so much space for them to then dream into all of the beauty we've reflected back to them. One of my children recently had shared with me that a dream that they thought was theirs and that they really wanted to fulfill has taken a completely different course now. But if I was so deeply attached to that expectation that this is what my child would become, then I would be trying to convince my child of why they needed to stay in this identity that no longer feels aligned for them. And we get to do that with ourselves. We get to constantly reassess and say, well, I thought this was a big part of who I needed to be in the world, who I even wanted to be, what I became attached to. If I'm really honest with myself, in the truth of who I am, at the core of my being, that's not actually what I'm interested in doing at all. And wouldn't it be more important to not betray yourself than to betray the expectations that everyone else has of you? In this one and only precious life that we are given, it is so important that if we are really to live aligned and in our joy, that we are living it from a place of what is our deepest calling, our deepest desire. And the people who really, really love us are going to be so happy to see us thriving, to see us stepping into our personal joy and gifts. I don't think that those who really deeply, profoundly love us are going to hold on to the expectation of who you should have become. And if they do, they're probably someone that may need to be released from your life. Because those that love us will celebrate the path we decide to walk, who we choose to become, as long as we do it with all of our joy and all of our own alignment. Living based on what someone else expects you to do or become or be in the world is a way to live a very sad life, because you are living a life that someone else expects. We see this so often with young kids and parents who get overly involved in their theater shows or their sporting events. You can see the parents on the sidelines living their unfulfilled dreams through what they expect their child to do or become. It's such a burden for children. And those children grow on to be adults. Many who are still trying to get the approval and the love of their parents, so they're trying to live through what is expected of them. And so it's really important that we are willing to look at, where does my loved one's expectation of me begin and end? And where does my desire for my life begin? And how do I find the bravery to step into that? If you want to learn more about how to step into a life of alignment, driven from your deepest desires, your longings for what you were brought here, the purpose that you were made for in this lifetime, purchase the Queen's Inauguration, where I will walk you through the most beautiful program that will help you to really identify what it is that you so long for in this life, how to align with it and get yourself into inspired action. Thank you so much for being here today. Remember to subscribe, to like, to share. Love always. Dr. Amanda.